Hey guys, how's it going? Scott here with Seymour Duncan, and right now I'm a little bit nervous, and maybe you can see why. This guy's sitting to my left. Joe Bonamassa here.
How's it going?
Yeah, how is it going?
Everything's good. I've come up here to sort out a problem I had with a Telecaster, and my 54 Tele, the pickups were a bit out of balance, where the front pickup was really weak and the back pickup is, as you would expect out of a flat pole 50s Tele. And you know, being a collector and a player, sometimes you have to kind of fudge the line. What am I? You know, it's like a collector, you know, sometimes, you know, you want to leave everything as original and stock as possible. You know, but as a player, a guy who actually wants to play it and use the front pickup, I go, well, you know, I should probably go have the pickup looked at. And what you guys have done is basically remagnetize the poles, but it didn't quite, you know, get the thing up to where the lead pickup, you know, was, or where it should have been. So, and you know, brace yourselves, vintage guys. So right now MJ is rewinding the front pickup, and I think it's going to be awesome, because when it goes back in, it's going to sound in balance with the back pickup, and it's going to be a rocking Telecaster in every way, shape, and form. And that's what it's for, to play, and you know, and not so much, you know we'll keep the original wire, and I'll just have it at home. I'll throw it in the case.
You could do like a little doll with it, a little QB doll.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's
a lot of options.
You can sell it on eBay for $1.
I think it'll go more than $1.
You know, purple wire out of a Tele. It's not bad.
You know, something that's funny about that Tele is, and it's in such nice condition. And you were saying that in a recent interview I read that you like playing tons of different vintage stuff on stage.
I do,
because you're kind of a gearhead, and
I am.
The fans to have fun and see all this vintage gear and cool gear. So, do you think you're gonna bring that Tele on the road with you?
I do. I actually bring a 53 out on the road that's had a little tougher of a life than the 54. And the 53 looks like Roy Buchanan's or Danny Gatton's guitar, and that's why I bought it, because I took lessons from Danny when I was a kid, and I bought it off a picture, and I said, man, something that well worn and played has to be great, because nobody would have played it, you know.
Right.
Sometimes the cleaner the guitar, the worse the guitar is, because there was a reason why I didn't play it, you know. You know, so the thing is, I bring the vintage guitars on the road for two reasons. One, I think it's valuable for both the guitar and, you know, the audience to see real, you know, vintage guitars, you know, played on stage. Before, it was just kind of a myth that these things exist, and they would trade hands underground and be in glass cases. And the other thing is it's a selfish reason, is more so than not. I travel for like 9 months a year, and there's no reason for me to justify owning any of this stuff if it just sits in a vault or whatever, you know, for 9 months, and I pick it up once a year and then say, I'll see you next year. And it's so that's my rationale, and we're very careful with it, and it's a lot of fun. People really gotten a thrill seeing the Sunburst Les Pauls come out, and you know, the last tour we were traveling with 4 original ones, and a Blackguard Tele, a 64 Firebird 1, and a couple of Dotneck 335. So,
because I'm trying to add up,
what's not to like?
I'm adding up like all the value you're bringing up.
You can't look at it that way. You can't look at the value of a guitar. Like, I can show you a Les Paul. Some guy would say that must be $1 million guitar, and I could show it to another guy who goes, that must be that I wouldn't pay you $1 for it. It's like ordering seafood at Red Lobster. If you want the king crab special tonight, it's market price. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. I mean, you get up into those kind of conversations. You know, to me, it's like, I play the guitars because those Les Pauls that I play, I love them. You know, they're mine. And if all goes well, they'll be mine forever. And then somebody else will own them. You know, and that's the whole point of it.
So you don't worry about like like I've heard of some guitar players, they actually have a security person just for their guitars.
So the girls on the road, I call them the girls. The girls have their own rotating random algorithm set of routines that even I sometimes have a hard time going, what day is this, and how are they leaving the building? I don't care how I leave the building. You can steal me all you want.
Okay.
You know, but no, we're very careful with them. We understand they are valuable guitars, and we're not cavalier and they're just not like, you know, left out. But the other thing is the thing is that we're very protective, but it's not like, you know, it's not like moving the president around. It's not like that at all.
Okay. Well, how often do you eat Red Lobster?
Never.
Okay. I was just curious when you said that's a good example. That's the most philosophical.
Well, it's basically what it is. What's a guitar worth? What's any of this stuff worth? It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Okay. So. And then the Les Pauls you're taking on the road, some of them have your new custom shop,
yes.
Joe Bonamassa signature pickup. So now you've actually gotten to, because before you were just kind of testing them and playing them, I think in the studio a little bit.
Yep.
Now you're testing them on the road. What's the vibe? Are you still just as in love with them?
I love them. I think, you know, the best part, you know, of those pickups is the fact that, you know, like when we go to South America or when we go to, you know, Australia or you know, anywhere in the South Pacific, traveling with guitars on planes has become a real issue. So much so that I've capitulated defeat and I don't bring the original ones on those kind of missions. So I have a stable of guitars that are custom shop Gibsons and you know, some with Bigsby, some Sunburst, some Gold Tops, you know, like my signature ones. And I've systematically over the last 2-3 months have, you know, outfitted 3 guitars with the Bonamassa pickups, and the best part of it is that, you know, you get some of these things and you playing on rental gear, but having that clarity and the low output of those pickups, and you get these real clear bell-like sounds, kind of like you get on the 59s, and having that be able to go into a road case and comfortably go under the plane where you're going, well, if they take the headstock off, I can just re-glue it, and it's
right.
I've not defaced something of, you know, value of a house, and those are fine. Those are what we can do. You can break the neck off, we can glue them back, and they're fine. And so that's been really valuable. And the best part of the whole pickup thing that we've done over the last year is the feedback that I get from people, like in the meet and greets, and you know, there's always 10 guitars in the meet and greets, and I can spot the Seymour Duncan equipped ones, you know, because they look like PAFs, you know, and they look like the old ones too. So, you know, I've seen guys throw them in signature guitars. I've seen them throw them in R9s and 335s, and I've seen them in Epiphones, and I even saw one guy who bought a set so he could put the lead pickup in his Strat, you know. So
wow.
So I said, why don't you route the other thing and have like a Dave Murray guitar? It'd be wicked, right? But anyway, so that's the word on the street, as they said, the kids say.
I bought a set myself.
Did you?
Yes.
They make you buy them?
No. Here's the thing.
That's a loyal employee right there.
I'm gonna be honest.
Seymour, you got a good one.
I don't even know if I have. You know what? I know I don't have even a double humbucker guitar. I was like, right. I need these pickups.
But you know what it is? It's a manifest destiny. You're going, I got the pickups first, so now you got to find something to put in.
Because the reaction has been so amazing from dealers, from repair guys who install them, from end users, and the other thing is
even my dad's got them in his shop. So that's all.
He's your number one fan, right?
He is my number one fan. Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. My mother is my number one fan.
Dad, you're number 2.
That's right.
It's okay.
But he understands why I just said that. And it saves everybody a lot of grief.
And I play, but a guy who works here, he has a beautiful Les Paul, and
right.
Put the pickups in, and you know, we noticed like the in-between position of your humbuckers are like the clearest.
And that's,
you know, in between humbucker sound.
Yeah, that's the kind of the myth about PAFs is the fact that they weren't overwound. They were, some of them you get down into the low 8s, mid 8s of by the way, never say this on a date with a girl, because that means the date will end soon. You start talking about, you know, resistance on a pickup, the date will end soon.
Has that happened? Seriously?
Yes. Anyway, I talk by experience. You know, some of them get down to low 8s, mid 8s. You know, you occasionally get a one that's a little over 9, you know, K, but that's a hot PAF, where more modern pickups start at 9. Some of them they wind them up to 12, 15, you know, 12K. I've seen even more, you know, and which is fine for a certain style of music. But if you're going for the authentic, what a PAF would sound, the lower the output, I found, is more authentic, because that's basically what they were.
And then maybe the last question about the pickups was, I know Seymour, he did 4 prototype sets for you, right? Around there. And then how quickly, with your ears, how quickly did you know when you play one, like, I think this is it or I think this isn't it?
Well, what it was basically we had to look at it as 2 halves. We had to go through a bunch of front pickups first, and we'd found one, because we had the test guitar. We had the test guitar and we had the source guitar. We had the R9, a custom shop Gibson, which was the test guitar, and which had about the same amount of weight as the original 59. So we'd hit the front pickup, because mind you, this is not this is a long, tedious process full of lead fumes, because you gotta like string it up and play it and get it in tune, live with it, and then by the time you do all that, going, well, which one do we like better? So the best was when we got the front pickup down. The front pickup, that was a no-brainer, and it was just clean, clear, okay, that's what it is, sounds just like the burst, and you're good. The lead pickup, I ended up going with a pickup that was slightly hotter than the one that came in the 59 Sunburst, and I'll tell you why. Because not all guitars react the same way. So you could put those pickups in anything and basically have them balance out the same. And because my lead pickup in that original 59 was a bit on the low side as far as output, I was afraid that it would sound thin in another guitar. That guitar particularly works as a whole. So we went with just a bump in the back, and the balance, the cool thing was the balance worked.
Awesome. Because, okay, so your pickups are showing like crazy, and so you know.
Yeah, there's like a line of girls out the front here at the Seymour Duncan factory going, we want the pickups.
I paid them.
That's awesome. So you can rent anything now. You can rent a crowd.
Sorry, man. It's okay. And then last thing we should probably talk about is your new album.
Yes.
Hours of Daylight. So just what was that experience like? When you go into make a record, do you know kind of what the vibe of the record's going to be before you get in there, or it kind of develops?
You know, it's a word. Every one that we do now, mind you, I can say this because it's funny. We put out a record every 2 weeks. You know, it seems like, between Black Country Commune and everything else. This one, the word for this one was blues. I wanted to go back and play some blues again, and Kevin Shirley thought it was a good idea, and I said, well, just make a blues record. And that was the real impetus of the whole session, was going, let's go make a blues record. Now, our definition of blues is a little bit different and can get a little bit, outside of what you would call traditional blues. But that what it was, and the response has been great. It's been the biggest selling. We debuted number 21 on the Billboard charts on the overall 200.
That's huge.
And we debuted number 2 in England in the overall charts. We missed number 1 by 100 copies or less.
Wait, what album was number 1?
It was some major label release or something like that. No, I'm just a little indie Joe.
I know, I'm just making sure it wasn't like One Direction or those boy bands, because there's like no...
That would have been really sad.
Well, I know, but that's like, it's okay.
They have the right to sing too. I know. Hey, we love everybody.
The kids love them.
Let me tell you something. I mean, the fact that we even talk about this in terms of, I've always been the perennial underdog for most of my career at this point. And the fact that the fan response to the record and they've gone out and buy it, it's been a real honor and a privilege, to do this, and I'm just happy everybody's, I know my fans, they like it when I just get back to the blues and it's why? Because I like it too, and that's the thing about the new record.
Okay, and then last thing, let's talk about your tour schedule for fans, across the world. So it sounds like you're going to Europe again.
Well, I'm going to Europe playing acoustic music.
Oh wow.
Breaking out the kryptonite.
What kind of acoustic do you use?
I use, generally I have old Gibsons. I have a few old Gibsons, and I have 3 or 4 Martins that I really like. And but my favorite acoustic guitar is, and I'll be using this mainly, is the 1969 Grammar. It was a company out of Nashville. Okay. Johnny Cash model. They made a Johnny Cash model for maybe 6 months. And I got one, and it's awesome. It's a great D28 style, but it says Johnny Cash right on the headstock. And it's one of the coolest guitars I own. One of the rarest. I
don't know where you, I'm calling you have black market connections.
I have good connections.
I mean, it's unreal, the stuff you...
I have good connections, and the more you get into it, the more the web kind of, the stuff's out there. You just gotta know where to look, and it's fun, and it's, once again, getting back to what we talked about, it's nice to get the guitars out and have them seen and played, and so this acoustic thing, I'm really excited. So it's only 7 shows, and I hope it's a good experience for everybody.
Look at that. So Joe Bonamassa, the king of the blues.
I'm not that.
Yes, you are.
No. Maybe.
Squire.
Squire of the blues. That's awesome. I like that.
And Joe always, last note, Joe always comes in here looking cool. Like,
really?
Yeah, you always look like, I look like I got beat with a sock full of Vaseline. And you look...
I look like...
You look great.
Look like oh, well, thanks. That's the only person that's ever said that.
That's true. All right, so Joe Bonamassa.
Cheers, man.
Thanks so much.
Good job. Yeah.
And, he'll be around soon, but I won't harass him next time. But thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the interview, and go see Joe when he
comes to a town near you.
There you go.
There you go.